A terrific panel here. These are the folks that will be able to answer all the questions that you have. I have 1,000 of them, so if you don't want to hear me babbling, you've got to come up with questions on your own. We have a number of disciplines represented up here. We have manufacturers, we have engineers, we have people that work in cloud services and managed services, we have industry consultants, terrific group of people. I know they're capable of answering a lot of questions. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, starting on my left with Bob Romano, and just continue one after another. Introduce yourselves.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bob Romano. I'm the VP of Enterprise Marketing for RadVision. RadVision is a full-service video conferencing provider, including endpoints all the way from mobile devices to telepresence units and infrastructure products, MCUs, and gateways.
Good morning. I'm Duffy White, CEO of Telepresence Tech. Our company has unique capabilities of achieving eye contact with the display devices that we have, and also to achieve a sense of three-dimensional depth. And then we have systems that work with all the different codec manufacturers for interoperability.
I'm Clint Gatewood, Vice President of Corporate Development with View Telepresence. Our company is working very hard to democratize telepresence for every company of any size, 1 to 500 users even, is where we really focus on. We're very focused on the small to medium businesses and providing them products and services for telepresence solutions.
Good morning, I'm Ann Aaron. In addition to my hat as founding chairperson of IMCCA, I am president of a 29-year-old management consulting firm in the collaborative conferencing space. We work with the end users and the vendors doing everything that does not require a screwdriver. Meaning we do upfront needs assessments, benchmarking studies, ROI, and back-end training, promotions, tracking, and evaluation.
Hi, I'm Marcio Macedo. I'm responsible for product management at HP Visual Collaboration. We have a booth downstairs. You want to see a lot of what we're showing. We've been investing a lot in growing the product portfolio, specifically around scalable video coding, driving the complete enterprise solution as a software in the back end, so it's managed like other IT applications.
Hi, my name is Darren Podrobsky. I'm the Vice President of Marketing for GlowPoint. GlowPoint is a cloud-managed services provider for video. We provide services for all types of video, immersive telepresence, conference rooms, and desktops, as well as things like hosted bridging services and a business-to-business exchange. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm sitting next to you. Dave Phillips, President of York Telecom. We're the leading managed services provider for visual communications.
Good morning, I'm Jeff Nicole. I'm with KBZ Communications. We are a specialty Cisco distributor focusing on telepresence. For the last 10 years or prior to that, we were the Timbre distributor. So we have a very specific expertise in the telepresence technologies. We work very closely with our partners, and especially over the last several months through the Tamberg and Cisco transition. Oftentimes providing cradle-to-grave type services, so helping to even engineer and to design some of the solutions. Provide quoting services, and even help partners who may need to leverage some of our implementation services and post-implementation technical services.
Terrific. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, I don't think there are going to be any specific questions, though I may make some suggestions, but I'm going to start with the first one. As you guys, if you were here during the opening, heard, this is our 4th telepresence day that we've done at InfoComm, and I've asked this question as the first question every year for all 4. What's telepresence? We initially came up with a definition. Wayne House had a great definition, the IMCCA had a great definition, and it referred to an experience, not a technology, where you felt like you were in the room with the people. And it's more complicated than that, but that's what it was. But is that what it is anymore? What's changed? What's going on? Anybody?
What's changed is Cisco. They came in and renamed it, respelled it, and changed the definition of it. So that now they look at it as going from end to end, small to large. I would argue it's not an immersive experience, small to large.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think it's, in the days at Polycom, it was very well defined. You had a multi-codec, you had several screens, you sat in a big room. You paid lots of money for it, which we enjoyed a lot. And that was telepresence. Then you had room systems, you had executive desktop, you had desktop, client-based, whatever, but that wasn't telepresence. I actually think that when, I think it was Chambers who really drove this, and partly, you know, I believe it was because, frankly, video conferencing had such a bad reputation amongst end users. The moniker was, you know, a reinvention, if you like, of video conferencing. And so I kind of like it from that end, the telepresence, it sort of reinvents itself, especially for new users. But it is confusing to think that your mobile device is a telepresence device to endpoint. I think it's pushing things a little bit far. But the real question is, David, does it matter? Who cares? For those who are in the industry, in the business, and looking for telepresence is as good as anything else to describe visual communications of some description.
I'll tell you why it matters. I'll interrupt Rick for a second. Rick, could you hold up what you're doing?
He's trading stocks. He's trading stocks. So make this quick.
I'm not showing the screen. We put a question to this on our LinkedIn page. When will we have telepresence on this? It's got a forward-facing camera. We had about 30 responses on the first day, half of them saying there couldn't be telepresence on that. And the other half talking about an application called ClearSee, and somebody was in there talking about what video is doing. Are we going to have mobile telepresence? Is that an oxymoron? Is that something that's going to happen?
Change with the term of telepresence. It has evolved from an experience as immersive into something that can connect to all ways of communication with people with video. So it's more of an omnipresence in that regard, that it truly is connecting video communication, and it really should. Why shouldn't it be able to connect in all different ways?
But you know, David, we as an industry have never defined anything else well, so why should we be doing this well?
Because we got an hour to kill. Any other questions? Anyone in the audience have something they want to add?
I need to ask a question, if I may, for a person in the audience who has no voice today. Harold Turk from Aetna said to me, "I'm really sorry, I can barely whisper, I've lost my voice, but I have a very important question I want to ask the panel." He said, "My CEO wants to talk from Aetna to American Express, and we can't."
Yeah,
So when is it really truly going to be interoperable so that my CEO can easily call American
I'd
Express?
like to answer that, and just as soon as you talk to York Telecom, it will be eminently possible.
or Glow Point, thank you very much.
Yeah, I thought I'd get it before.
Yeah, I know, you beat me to a punch. No, I think the answer to that question, and one of the things I was going to talk about in terms of trends we're going to see moving forward, is a much higher demand for business-to-business calls with video. I think enterprise customers expect to be able to use video to collaborate with customers, colleagues, partners, the same way they're using video inside of their enterprise. And I think there's a lot of very encouraging things going on in the industry. For example, we just announced our membership in the IMCCA. There's the Cisco Exchange, there's all kinds of things. I know we're going to get into a fight, but anyway, the point is the answer to his question is he absolutely can, right? And I think that the capability to do that to peer disparate networks, to have it make it easy to find somebody and make a video call, is only going to get easier and better and cheaper.
So David, I have a question on that. So you asked when we're going to do telepresence on that device, and the question is, did we define telepresence? Because can you do video conferencing on that device? Absolutely. Today, come to the RadVision booth, we'll show you interactive video conferencing on a mobile device. So again, we are in this confusion about it. We got into an argument about whether or not you could do that or not. It can be done today. Video conferencing has been renamed, but it's just caused more confusion. The reality of it is people want to do interactive video conferencing across all the devices that they carry today, from mobile devices all the way up to immersive room environment.
Right.
To me, telepresence is the immersive experience, face-to-face, life-size, whatever characteristics you want to put around it. But but there's a continuum of video conferencing that can be done across all devices today and all the networks that those devices ride on.
And I think we're going to do away with those terms. I think pretty soon there isn't going to be video conference or telepresence.
Right.
It's video.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I think, David, and just one thing to add, I think to me the more interesting question is not necessarily what is it, but what is the services model for telepresence that's going to emerge, right, as the one that people choose most often. We've been, for years in the industry, there's been, okay, I want to run this on my network. I want to manage this myself. And now you see the cloud managed services market start to, grow, right? As more and more people look to outsource that, to have that actually run for them, by someone else. And so I think, for telepresence rooms, particularly immersive, rooms, which I really think is when we talk about, the kind of stuff that you guys were doing, right, and people in life size. I think a larger percentage of those rooms, right, are going to be, under a managed service, just because of the fact that, there's more gear back there, there's more codecs, there's more cameras, they need more bandwidth, right? Those types of rooms tend to be used for more higher level types of meetings. So to me, it's more interesting to see what service model, right? Is it fully cloud? Is it hosted from the cloud? Is it on-premise? What's going to emerge as the model that most people use?
That brings up 5 subjects that we need to explore from all of you, but we have a question here. Let's go to that first.
Well, I'm Harold Turk. I'm the one without the voice. Go Bruins, by the way. What I guess I should have said was, other than having to go to a service provider, because we already have an existing network, an existing architecture, we have every endpoint, every component, every hook, we got the VCSs, we got everything. We still can't do it unless we pay somebody else to manage that service. And what I'm basically saying is, when are we going to make it ubiquitous for us to connect like a phone number and not have to pay someone else? I'm sorry, you guys are the service providers, but I don't want to use you guys. I want to be able to do it myself. I can't do that. And that's why I get frustrated when I hear this, we're interoperable. You're not, and okay? I see this every time. My CEO's exact words I told Ann was, I want to meet with Amex because I'm on the board. I had to say to him, you can't, and he went, well, that's not good. I don't want to have those conversations, and this is what's frustrating from an end user perspective. I understand it's getting there. The OVCC might be something real exciting, maybe not, I don't know, I'll wait and see. The other thing is, I know the whole thing with these partnerships with, we can link through Tata, with BT and somebody else, it's too kludgy for us, and it becomes very, if we can't figure it out as the guys who are in charge of video conferencing and telepresence, how are the end users going to be able to do that? I want to have a call, I'm the CEO, I want to call the CEO of that company. See how easy it'll be for them to do that, and that's what I was meant when I asked Ann. That's why I asked, when is it really going to be interoperable?
I would like to comment on that if I could. It's because as a distributor, we deal with a lot of these telepresence partners out there. And we are heavy users of the technology ourselves, and so are many of our partners. And we're able to do this on a daily basis. Not only talk to our partners, but talk to our colleagues at Cisco, formerly Tandberg. And it's for us, it's fairly ubiquitous. I do it from my house every day. So the technology exists to be able to do that. And you don't need an exchange, you don't need a managed service to do that.
But it's different from your home if you're over a secure network VPN, where he's got certain security protocols within, whatever the gentleman's company is. And so when we build up all these walls, it's hard to get over the wall, from wall to wall, and there is no exchange. I mean, we're talking about multiple different, how many different open exchange communities do we have?
Well, that's actually the key point. That's something to bring up. When Cisco announced their exchange, their Cisco 3.0 exchange, there are a number of exchange partners that signed up and that are working with it. BT, Tata, AT&T, or there are many more. I don't want to leave anyone in or out. But when Polycom mentioned its OVCC during the webcast that they did, and they said this is now an open exchange and an open network partnership, and we looked at the providers, it's the same names. So, we're starting to feel a little bit like the wag the dog here. What is the truth versus what we're being told? And do we see any light at the end of the tunnel? Anyone want to take, that's a challenging question. Anyone want to take that on?
I just think, and I'm not a technologist, so I'm not going to get into the bits and bytes on this, but I would say that the way that we view life is to go to the customer, the CEO, the CIO, the line of business, and have a conversation which would emanate to the gentleman's question back there would be, I just want to use it. I just want to kind of dial tone, right, on video. I just want to use it. I don't want to have to schedule calls, or I just want to press a button and be there. And to some extent, you can do that today, whether you can do it across different companies and different firewall providers and all that. We can make that work, but you do have to have somebody outside. And it's like all technologies, it's going to take a little time for standards to emerge, for different protocols to emerge that are going to make that ubiquitous. And I predict that's not going to happen. Video conferencing is complicated. It's complex, and by the way, it's kind of new. Even today, talking to Rick earlier on about how big Cisco's business is now. But it's still, what, 10–15% of the market that are actually using video conferencing as a matter of course. So it's still a new technology finding its feet. The call with Polycom was fascinating. The OVCC, I have no idea what that is, none whatsoever. And I'm in the business, right? And we do that. We actually make things work across boundaries. That's what we do for a living. So I think the answer is a disappointing one for the gentleman, which is you're still going to need people like us for the foreseeable future. We're really good at it, and I'll come and talk to you a little later on, because clearly you're not getting any satisfaction from your current service provider.